Alright, everybody, welcome to the second part of the Real Good Rasslin Awards, the most prestigious pro wrestling yearly award show there is on the planet, goddammit. Part 2, we're doing top 50 matches. There was a lot of goddamn good wrestling, and we're going to be talking about this goddamn good wrestling. At the bottom, it'll tell you the competitors and the promotion and how many times they've appeared on the list so far. Got it? Okay, cool. Come on, start. Number 50, Hiromu Takahashi versus Kazuki Hirata in a special singles match for the DDT Iron Man Heavyweight Championship. This is just a fucking bonkers match. DDT is mostly a comedy promotion in Japan, and the Iron Man Heavyweight Championship is similar to the old WWF Hardcore Championship, where, you can get pinned anytime, anywhere, whatever. And they take this to the extreme in DDT. The match stipulation changes every 5 minutes, determined by a roulette wheel. Sometimes it's just a normal match. Other times it's like a dance off, and then it's blindfolded, also wearing bras for some reason because Japan is fucking insane. Anyway, the end of the and there's still good action in it, but the end of the match is okay. So Hiromu Takahashi also has the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, and he's also the DDT Iron Man Heavyweight Championship. He wins the match. And he's tired, and he's laying on the ground, and he's just has his titles, and he just lays the uh junior heavyweight title on top of himself. But because of the rules, the ref counts 1, 2, 3, and the new DDT Iron Man Heavyweight Championship is the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. A championship won the champion. A belt, and the ref is trying to have the belt wear the other belt, and it's just, oh, it's so stupid, but it's everything I love about DDT. This match pushed off Ilya Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes, so yeah, don't take my opinions seriously. Number 49, it is Sanada versus Kaito Kiyomiya from the G1 Climax. They were both part of the A block. Kaito Kiyomiya has had a pretty damn good run in New Japan, and this match was just great. It was the veteran world champion Sanada and the youngster Kaito taking the fight to him, and this match ends in with 3 seconds left on the clock. I think it goes the full 20 minutes. Sanada just barely ekes out a victory and goes on to be undefeated throughout his block. But Kaito just shows so much fire and fight in him. This is a perfect G1 Climax match on why the tournament is so awesome. And yeah, Kaito's great. A shame that Noah hasn't capitalized on his hype. Number 48 is Julia versus Tom Nakano from the All-Star Grand Creamdom, Stardom's big event, and this saw the crowning of a new Stardom World Champion in Tom Nakano. Don't you love to see that? Obviously, these two are great, just fucking murdering each other throughout the entire match. And yeah, Tom Nakano is a great fit for the new Stardom World Champion. 47, it is CM Punk versus Samoa Joe, AEW All In. This was just, CM Punk and Samoa Joe are easily two of the smartest wrestlers I have ever watched. Their psychology and their chemistry is off the charts. The physical charisma that oozes off of them is palpable. Just so many little bits in this match that are incredible. Joe gets out of I think it's Joe. Yeah, he gets out of a front face lock. CM Punk has him in front face lock, on the ground in a headlock, and Joe simply backs up and slithers out of the ring so that CM Punk, he slides out of it because CM Punk gets stopped by the ropes. And that's such a smart little way to get out of a hold that I never see. I'm sure it's been done because everything in wrestling's been done before, but that's the first time I've ever seen that. And then instantly Punk comes in, flying through with a knee. They brawl for the outside a little bit, and Joe just swings and bashes his head into the announce table. Um, Inside the announce table, and that busts CM Punk open. The fact Punk did this after beating the shit out of Jack Perry in real life is incredible. This is the match that these two deserve to have on a massive stage like Wembley in the opening match of the biggest wrestling show of all time. CM Punk doing the five knuckle shuffle or the you can't see me, and doing that into a Hulk Hogan style leg drop. Just God, these two are the best, and Punk wins in his last ever AEW match. Incredible stuff. 46, I believe we are at. It is Kenny Omega, who we will see a lot throughout this list, versus Konosuke Takeshita at AEW's All Out. Uh, yeah, this match was, I guess, the first part of a feud that has kind of fallen off, but the actual the actual match they had was great. Inosuke Takeshita very clearly is quite inspired by Kenny Omega, a bit of a more powerhouse version of Kenny Omega's style. Kenny in his like rookie gear was a nice touch. Um, and yeah, these two they just have such incredible chemistry because they both came up through DDT and now in AEW. Very good passing of the torch style moment with Takeshita picking up the victory. And yeah, I love this match. 45, I believe we are at. Um, it is Jamie Hayter versus. Oh, yeah, 40. Wait, 50 was. I should have I really should have counted these. 50 was the DDT match. 49 was the Tamakano. 48 was, or 49, 40, fucking whatever. There was Sonata, Kaito, Joe Punk. This should be 45, right? Yeah, okay. Jamie Hayter versus Hikaru from AEW's Holiday Bash. Hard hitting, back and forth. These two are just such great strikers, and them getting this was just a great match. Loved it. Hayter was briefly such a great world champion. I miss her every day, god damn it. And Hikaru Shida, when she is allowed to go, she fucking goes, man. 44. MJF versus Konosuke Takeshita in a eliminator match. February 8th, Dynamite. This was building up to, of course, the great MJF Danielson feud. This was Takeshita's last great match as a babyface. MJF showed off, like, this was the first time where it's like, oh shit, MJF can do the super awesome New Japan style AEW match. He just chooses not to, and he picks very smart places to do this. The best sequence is Takeshita tries to do basically a clothesline him off the top rope. MJF he hits it, and on his way down he does a backflip, and lands on his feet, and then that leads to this incredible striking exchange. Um, MJF playing such a good heel, Takeshita playing such a good babyface, but both really going at it in a match you don't always see out of MJF. And if this was the MJF we got all the time, he would be the best wrestler in the world. 43. Tomohiro Ishii versus Eddie Kingston from the G1 Climax, one day after the Sonata Kaito match. Oh, this was fun. Just blitz through. This is the third match these two have had. It is perfect. Ishii, strong style, yeah, this is strong style. Yeah, strong style, just gonna beat the shit out of you versus Eddie Kingston's, I guess they're both King Rose styling, the more that I think about it, because strong style's more strikes and and like submission as well. This was just all strikes and big move, big move. Yeah, these two with such a quick pacing deliver such a fantastic match. These two both have very similar styles, but still different in a couple unique ways. Ishii gets the victory, which was nice, and yeah, these two have just this amazing chemistry. And the pacing of this match is incredible. I'm a bit hit or I'm a bit 50-50 on 20-minute time limits versus 30-minute time limits for the G1, but if we get more of these types of matches, then I'll be a lot more fine with the 20-minute time limit. 42, it is the first, or I guess technically the second, but the first one was the no contest with the injury, but the first actual Moxley versus Page match from January 11th. This one, Page was the babyface, but just pissed off that John Moxley would, disrespect him the way that he had in the weeks leading up to this. Just bashing each other in with forearms and lariats. Uh, yeah, incredible match, great psychology. Hangman is such a great fiery baby face. Moxley feels like he's on the back pedal this entire match, which you don't usually see. Shout out to the second match in this trilogy, which isn't on this list, where Moxley plays the de facto babyface in because he's in Cincinnati. But this match, Fox, this is one of the best TV matches all year, and already AEW's fifth match on the list. Sixth match on the list. This is number 41. This is Swerve Strickland versus Adam Page from Wrestle Dream. Swerve Strickland this year, he has such a unique move style. The way he moves throughout the ring, the raw aura, charisma he gives off. Adam Page is the best, big match player AEW has right now. It did have a cheap finish, which is whatever. It did lead to continuation of literally the second best feud of the year for me. But yeah, incredible match. Swerve's offense is just so fun to watch. How he rolls into suplexes, how he maintains wrist control, how he sells, and just everything he does. The targeting of Hangman's right arm um, to nullify the buckshot was a smart little storytelling thing. Um, yeah, just the kill shot. Is that what it's called? The little kick Swerve does is awesome. The knees, it's a great finisher, like a coup de grace, but with the opponent sitting up. And yeah, these two, if not for another match that we will be getting to, easily had the match of the night at AEW's Wrestle Dream. Number 40, Kenny Omega versus John Moxley in a steel cage from the May 10th edition Dynamite. These two are one of the best rivalries in AEW, and it doesn't get talked enough. 2019, of course, with that amazing no holds barred or death match, whatever. The barbed wire death match at Revolution 2020 was also great. The match they had for where Omega beat Moxley for a title. Yeah, I was excited for this match, and it delivered. Obviously, the main highlight is that crazy V trigger that he hits on Moxley, where the chain link fence just snaps apart. With Omega somehow not breaking his leg. That was insane, and just plenty of other gruesome spots that you would expect from a John Moxley match. Taking off the turnbuckle and using it as a fish hook on Omega's uh cheek. I don't remember if it was thumbtacks or I think it was thumbtacks. Glass uh, uh, Moxley would use a lot more later on, but in the year. But the thumbtack spot was gnarly. The finish setting up the whole Don Callis feud with Omega was fun, and Mox as a heel is so perfect, and I was so happy that we got Kenny Omega back. This was peak Omega. We were going on that run with of course, the first Will Ospreay match, the run with the Elite as trios champions, match against Jeff Cobb, match against El Hijo del Vikingo, and then into this. Oh, it's a good time to be a Kenny Omega fan. Number 39. Hold up. It is Bishamon versus Kazuchika Okada and Hiroshi Tanahashi. I don't think this was at a actual pay-per-view. I think this was during one of their Road to tours. But yeah, interesting match. Of course, Tanahashi and Okada or the Dream Team. Yeah, just perfect. This is what Bishamon does best with near finishes, unique double team moves, an incredibly paced match. Yeah, I mean, you put these four in a ring, they're gonna have a pretty fun time. And this would kind of set up the eventual Ishii, Okada, Tanahashi trio, which is fantastic. So, there you go. 38 is the first match that's, or outside the DDT match, that isn't from uh, AEW or New Japan. This is from AJB to All Japan Pro Wrestling, which I didn't really watch too much, only some of the highlights, but the biggest highlight from them was Yuma Aoyagi, Aliagi, I don't fucking know, versus Katsuhiko Nakajima. Nakajima, I was I watched only a little bit of his year, but every match he has is incredible. His probably the best striker in Japan, possibly the entire world. Yeah, these two just deliver a awesome, an awesome match. Like HAPW does these 40-minute clinics better than like they do the 40-minute New Japan style match better than New Japan. Um, incredible. Nakajima becomes Triple Crown champion, which could not think of a better way for HAPW to try and regain relevance than putting that belt on Nakajima. 37, it is Will Ospreay. First time we're seeing Will Ospreay. Will not be the last. Versus Shingo Takagi from the Rev Pro 10th anniversary show. This was like a day before All In. Rev Pro had their little show, which had a bunch of really good matches, like Luke Jacobs versus Tomohiro Ishii was also another great match on the card. Michael Oku versus I don't actually remember who he faced, but whatever. Rev Pro's good, but these two amazing chemistry. We proved that throughout 2020, I believe, is when they had their little series for the world title. Yeah, well, Osprey in a independent wrestling ring is god levels. Incredible. Yeah, the Shingo Takagi's hard hitting style with the fast pacedness of with the quickness of Osprey makes for such a fun combination. Yeah, this match is just it is what the kids call baller. 36 Aussie Open versus Bishamon. This is the match I alluded to earlier when I was in the last video when I was talking about Aussie Open. Of course, has all the great pacing and chemistry that you expect from a Bishamon match. But combine that with just how much everybody wanted to see Aussie Open crowned as tag champions. Their run at the beginning of the year was special. Early-ish in the match, Kyle Fletcher does a moonsault to the outside onto like I think Yoshihashi, but as he lands it perfectly, but when he lands on both feet, he falls backwards and boom, blasts his head um into the side of into the barricade, which completely changes the dynamic of the match halfway through, leaving Mark Davis to basically fight 2-on-1 for a while Kyle Fletcher is being bandaged up, and then comes back, has this amazing hot tag, and they end up winning, establishing Aussie Open as one of the best tag teams in the world. Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Number 35 is from our first match from Noah, who will have a couple matches on this list. It is Will Ospreay versus I'm not even gonna try and pronounce his last name, but it's Marufuji. This is Fuji's I think it's 20th anniversary or something like that. And yeah, just it's another fantastic Will Ospreay match. I don't know if I need to tell you why it's good. I feel like you can probably guess Will Ospreay. Spoiler alert is really fucking good. 34. Look at him. He's back. Okada versus Ospreay in the G1 Climax. Um, in the B block, so this was 20-minute time limit. And the story going into this was incredible. Ospreay on the run of his career. Okada, kind of he's chilling. He's Okada. He's very much at that kind of not lazy, but you know what you're getting now from kind of run that he goes on when he's not world champion. Uh-huh. And the story is simple. Osprey has never been able to beat Okada. Every time they've wrestled, it's gone to like 35 minutes. So not only does Osprey have to finally overcome Okada, but also do it in just 20 minutes, and he does, and it's incredible. Osprey is so great in this match. Um, every move he does looks effortless and perfect, and yeah, is great story. Um, Probably not the best match these two have had. Probably a pretty mid match by their standards, but it still manages to, of course, crack the top 50 because Okada and Osprey. Number 33. This is Samoa Joe versus Darby Allin. AW Dynamite February 1st. This is the no holds barred match they had. This Dynamite, by the way, also came pretty close to being in the top 5 events, as this match, Thatcher versus Bryan Danielson, I think Jungle Hook versus Rush and Preston Vance in a very fun tornado tag, and then also, of course, the second Hangman Mox match. But this match was brutal. Darby Allin is such a this is Samoa Joe is best when he just has a guy to just fucking throw around and destroy. And Darby Allin is at his best when he's being fucking thrown around and destroyed. So you put them together and it's perfect. Darby Allin gets stronger the more you damage him, and Samoa Joe gets stronger the more he damages other people. Darby Allin flinging himself around the ring, trying to defeat this monster. The Muscle Buster onto the exposed wood is a nasty bump. And I mean, these two just go through a war together. And this little stretch where the TNT title swaps between like Wardlow to Joe to Darby, back to Joe to Wardlow to Hobbs to Wardlow to Luchasaurus. Like the TNT title was cooking. It wasn't. It's not just Christian Cage's run that made that title. The title has been good all year, and this is probably the peak of it. Although, again, Darby and Christian's match at Wrestle Dream definitely comes pretty close. 32, Rush versus Bryan Danielson. So Rush is an interesting wrestler because he only wrestles one style of match, and that style of match is "fuck you, I'm going to actually kill you," and just like Rush has no chill, you know. Uh, like imagining Rush in like a normal wrestling setting where he has like I can't imagine him doing like a rest hold, you know? He probably has done, but I just can't. Every Rush match is the same, and every Rush match is so much fun because you're watching the other wrestler enter the world of Rush, and it's just like it's always just can can they keep up with Rush's just extremely fast paced knees and throws to the outside and suplexes and constant taunting spamming. It's like in the WWE 2K games where you build up your finisher if you just taunt a bunch. Danielson, luckily, is one of the few guys who can keep up with Rush. Another great Rush match was the match against Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy could not keep up with Rush and almost died because of it. Yeah, I mean, Danielson just bleeds like crazy, and Rush just smears it on his chest because he's freaking awesome. This, out of all the matches leading up to Danielson MJF, was my favorite one easily. Yeah, and seeing Rush, I'm so glad he's in the Continental Classic in AEW because he's one of my guys, you know. 31, Kyrie Zane, or just Kyrie, versus Mercedes Monet in Battle in the Valley, February 18th. Yeah, this match is so unique. Obviously a white hot American crowd for the debut of Mercedes. It was very interesting watching her both keep up with the Joshi style and also kind of like expand on it. Like she did all like this match kind of had it was like a mix of a Joshi and a Lucha Libre match, and that's what I loved about Mercedes Monet's work. Um, Lots of those arm drags and fancy mat work and dives that you would expect of the Lucha matches, but also just vicious strikes and suplexes that you obviously expect from the Joshi style. Uh, Monet, of course, wins it eventually, which was never really in doubt. And yeah, this match was just freaking incredible. This is one of those matches that's infinitely rewatchable. Yeah, just fluid and technical and perfect. It's everything you want from a Mercedes Monet match. Number 30, it is Kaito Kiyomiya versus Kazuchika Okada from Noah's Farewell Muto, uh, Muto's Last Love from February 21st. Okada fucking hates Kaito. This match was set up by Kaito just hitting Okada a little bit too hard in the face, and Okada loses it in the tag match. And then this sets up to this match where Kaito just throws everything he has at the Rainmaker, at the top Japanese wrestler in the world, and just not working. Okada just kills him, just like hating and just fucking up this little brat punk, and it's so much fun to watch, and I love it. Number 29, Kenny Omega versus El Hijo del Vikingo in a dream match. This was a lot of people's first viewing of Vikingo. This match was supposed to happen in 2020, but because of the pandemic, it never happened, or it might have been because of a Kenny injury. I forget, but yeah, just a fantastic match. Showing off everything Vikingo can do, not just the insane dives with the 630s and the just like or 630 to the outside from a middle rope through a table, and then insane Frankensteiners. Kenny Omega such a plays such an incredible base for all of the high flying moves, but also the strikes and the power game of Vikingo. And of course, Kenny is bump tanking as well as Kenny just like uh, destroys him with V triggers. This match is so much fun. Um, Absolutely love it. I don't think it's that long, so it's perfectly rewatchable, and you can tell why AEW wants to sign Vikingo so 28. This is a lot of people. It's the 10-man tag from Forbidden Door with the BCC of Yuta, Moxley, Claudio, and honorary member Shota Umino versus and Konosuke Takeshita versus the Hung Bucks, Tomohiro Ishii, and Eddie Kingston. What a like the best part of this is all the interactions you get. Of course, you have the Young Bucks and Hangman with all their fun high flying action. You have Hangman squaring up against Moxley. You have a little bit where Hangman and Claudio are going at it, and then you got Eddie Kingston, who doesn't like anybody in the match, and the moment him just fucking going crazy against Claudio, and then his like the stare down between Moxley, the little hint of like what might happen in the future between them. Tomohiro Ishii going up against everybody is great, especially Claudio, and then uh Ishii is known for just taking all these strikes and just they just bounce off of him, and then Takeshita steps in the ring and just delivers the nastiest elbow in the world. Ishii just drops like a rock and dies. That's why the strong style is so awesome. You get moments like that. Yeah, this match is crazy fun. All the interactions are awesome. Um, yeah, this is great. This is why the Elite BCC storyline kind of went a bit too long, but there's a reason it did, because you got matches like this. And that is Moxley's second. Moxley and Takeshita's second, Adam Page's third, and Eddie Kingston's and Ishii's second. AEW is currently at 10 uh 10 matches, while New Japan's at 6. Now 11-7, as this is Bryan Danielson versus Kazuchika Okada. Outside of okay, so in my opinion, the top 4 best in-ring wrestlers at their peak currently right now in the world are Ospreay, Danielson, Okada, Omega. That's not a spoiler for top 4 because there's other factors in my decision making. So to have two of those four pillars go at it is crazy. I mean, this match had so much hype to it, and Danielson comes out to Final Countdown. Okada always feels special when he's in America. The only thing holding back this match is the fact that Bryan Danielson breaks his fucking arm halfway through it and then wrestles for another 10 goddamn minutes. So yeah, that kind of holds the match from, oh, it was a 4.5-star match instead of a 10-star match. But he broke his goddamn arm and he kept on wrestling and he fucking tapped out Kazuchika Okada with a broken arm. What? I love this little feud that's been going on between Danielson and Okada, where Danielson keeps on beating Okada, but every time they fight, a new part of Danielson's body breaks, whether it's the orbital bone in their future match, in a future tag team match, or the arm here. I mean, God, I can't not wait for that Wrestle Kingdom match. 26, Danielson popping off once again versus Ricky Starks in a strap match. God, this was brutal. Outside like the Texas Death matches and the Stadium Stampedes, Anarchy in the Arena, outside those matches, this was probably the most brutal match AEW did all year. Um, just Danielson just whipping the shit out of Ricky Starks, choking him out with the strap, everything. And Ricky Starks just trying to survive the monster that is Bryan Danielson, who, again, 3 months earlier broke his goddamn arm. CM Punk gets fired, so you need a new opponent for Ricky Starks. So it's like, yeah, sure, shoot him up with drugs or whatever and send Danielson out there. And he just murders Stark, and it's incredible. Um, Starks may have like gotten his ass whooped, but this like established him as like, yeah, he's a big star in AEW. He really was like the main character outside of CM Punk for those first couple months of Collision. Number 25 is Master Muato versus Titan. This is the finals of the Best of Super Junior. I don't know what it is with these two, but Master Wato did not deliver any matches like this throughout the rest of his year. I don't know, maybe they have this secret connection with Titan, but like, yeah, this match is everything you love about New Japan Best of the Super Junior style action. Titan is incredible. I love his stuff, and Wato shows off um, a lot of babyface fire and just like his potential, which we don't see that much outside of like the 4-way match at Wrestle Kingdom, a couple matches in. To be fair, his Super Junior run was kind of held down by not having the strongest block, with like going up against like Yo and an old Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Though I guess that block did have Desperado and Robbie Eagles, but whatever. Yeah, this match is pure, perfect New Japan junior heavyweight styles, and it enters just barely scrapping, getting into the halfway point. Here we go. 24, the first WWE match. I think this is like one of like 3 or 2, maybe. But it is from WrestleMania Night 2. It is Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre versus Gunther. When Gunther is the weak link in this match and gives the worst performance, you know you got a pretty goddamn good match. Sheamus and Drew just beating the shit out of each other. And then Gunther coming in at random points to remind everybody that he's still the best in WWE. Yeah, just big boys beating each other up for 20 minutes. It ends with Gunther power bombing Sheamus onto Drew. Really legitimizes Gunther by beating two multi-time world champions like that. Yeah, what he's done with the Intercontinental Championship this year has been wonderful. All right, 23. MJF versus Adam Cole, the main event of AEW All In. This was storytelling perfection. Both guys just like competing to see who could. This was really everything. Um, everything great about the MJF Adam Cole storyline kind of summed up in one match, like 30-minute match. It begins has the great back and forth, serious action that their first match had. Goes to a draw, of course. It has the will they, won't they bond. They shake hands. There's but they both cheat against each other throughout the whole thing. The drama is palpable. Um, and just they have such great chemistry. Lots of great callbacks to previous matches. Uh, find the ridiculous spot of them both passing the chair each other, trying to blame each other, do the Eddie Guerrero chair spot. Um, before Adam Cole passes MJF the chair, lays down to try and do the Eddie Guerrero spot. So MJF responds by just shrugging his shoulders and putting the chair around his neck and dropping down, so it looks like Cole did. Beautiful, love it. This match was great. Not 5-star or anything, but exactly what you want out of your main event of All In Wembley Stadium. Fight 2, Okada versus Naito G1 Climax Final. This is simple. It is Okada basically having a near perfect G1 outside of one loss to Ospreay. Two has won the past two G1 climaxes in a row, going for his third, the first person ever win 3 in a row versus Tetsuya Naito, who struggled in the beginning, losing to Jeff Cobb and Shane Hayes. I think no, he beat Zack Sabre Jr., but it did look at some point that he was definitely on the outside of his block, pulling through, barely scraping by, getting through Hikuleo, and then Will Ospreay to get to the finals. Just being screwed out multiple years out of being the main event of Wrestle Kingdom in the Tokyo Dome. Seems like his last shot. Finals of the G1, and he pulls through because he's the goddamn best. Naito, even when he's not at his most athletic, just gets you to care every time he steps into that ring for a big singles match. And of course, him and Okada are top two of their generation. They have the Musketeers of Hashimoto, Muto, and Shono, and the next generation. I guess I don't know. New Japan's generations are weird because you have the Three Musketeers of the 80s and 90s, and then the late 90s and early 2000s have this weird era of the Forgotten Musketeers, where it's Tenzan, Nagata, and who else was signed? That Kojima, who are all obviously great, but they kind of don't get to the same heights because of Inoki being weird in his old age, and then Revival with Shinsuke Nakamura, Tanahashi, and Shibata, and then uh, New Japan kind of ignores the mid to late 2000s or mid to late 2000s into 2010s generation, and just goes straight to Tsuji, Umino, and Narita, because outside of Okada and Naito, they don't have a third person for the Three Musketeers. Because Goto never became that guy, Yoshihashi never became that guy. Honestly, out of that little era class of New Japan graduates, the closest one is honestly Finn Balor, but he leaves. So yeah, these two kings of their generations, maybe a little bit past their not. Naito is probably past his prime. Okada is in the latter stage of his prime, but yeah, they go out with a classic. 21, El Phantasmo versus Will Ospreay. This very much is the future versus the current day. Phantasmo is so amazing. The way he floats in the ring. That little combination, Swanton into the Lion Solid combination he does is incredible. And yeah, these are just two heavyweights doing flippy shit better than any two heavyweights can do flippy shit. Every strike is impactful. Uh, every big near call is suspenseful. This is everything you think just for a second that Phantasmo might have it. I was pulling through him the whole time because Phantasmo is one of my guys, but just barely comes up short. But an incredible showcase for El Phantasmo, and another great match for Will Ospreay, who's at 4 on this list. And we're just now getting into the top 20 with number 20, Jon Moxley versus Orange Cassidy at All Out. This was just it's insane how much chemistry these two have. Moxley is just this brutal, vicious bully heel busting up Cassidy, destroying him with lariats and brain busters and just, ragdolling him. Orange Cassidy being the perfect babyface wrestler, the perfect underdog, good guy, scrapping by. He makes you think that he's gonna beat Moxley, but of course he's not gonna beat Moxley. He's the guy of AEW. But you still believe Orange Cassidy might do it, but it just isn't. You just can't pull him down because Moxley is just too damn good. So, yeah, this match is incredible. 19, MJF versus Kenny Omega on AEW Collision. The fact they gave us this match is on free TV is insane. It's simple. Omega's was the longest reigning AEW champion with 3 days until MJF surpasses him. He tries to take the belt to maintain his streak or his record, but MJF is just Omega might be just a little bit too banged up. Don Callis just distracted him a little bit too much. MJF, bit younger, bit faster than Omega. It's just barely able to defeat him. In just a fucking classic match. 18, FTR versus Bucks, all in. Again, these two just have insane chemistry. Everything they do in the ring, perfect pacing. Cash Wheeler going for that 450 every time gets me. Uh, yeah, they're so good. There's nothing I can say that you don't already. It's the Bucks versus FTR. Better than their first match. Probably a little bit below their second match, but their second match is an all-time classic. So whatever. Number 17, Athena versus Willow Nightingale. It's nice to have an ROH match here. Nice to have a women's match as well. We haven't had too many of those, but this is the perfect combination. These two work so well together. This is the third match of their trilogy. Athena as this vicious heel, smaller wrestler, but can surprisingly do a lot of the big power moves versus Will Nightingale, who's obviously the bigger wrestler, can do a lot of the power moves, but sneakily also is agile. It's the perfect combination of deceptively agile versus deceptively strong. There's so many moments where you think Will Nightingale will finally do it, but just barely comes up short. And at the time, it very much felt like Will Nightingale should have won. This was the peak of her um rise. She was very hot going into this, but the match was so good that I don't care that the finish might have been wrong. It was too good of a match for you to care. 16, Ospreay, Sabre Jr., Royal Crest 3. Wrestle all the goddamn time. They're so good. Perfect uh combination of Zack Sabre Jr. grounding Will Ospreay, keeping him from those high aerial moves, but eventually Ospreay, slowly learns to counter the technical stuff of Zack Sabre Jr. And eventually gets his big moves for the win. So glad that this match was for the U.S. title, not the TV title, because the TV title would only go 15 minutes, but absolute classic. It's almost boring how good Will Ospreay was this year. Number 15, The Elite versus House of Black. Oh, I love this match. There was a little moment where Buddy Matthews and Kenny Omega basically do the Spider-Man point at each other meme. Brody King just destroying the Bucks every chance he gets. There's this one part where that really popped me, which was just Matt Jackson does the springboard to the outside DDT on I think Malachi Black, and he just screams "Go to hell" as he comes down with it. That was incredible. House of Black getting the win was awesome. Malachi Black is so good. And Brody King is so good. Clay Matthews is so good. And the Young Bucks are so good. And this is Kenny Omega's 5th match on here. And he's so good. Oh my god. Number 14. This is an emotional pick. Not to say that it's not a great match on its own, because it is. But it's Keiji Muto's last match against someone who's very obviously inspired by him in Tetsuya Naito. Yeah. Emotional. Keiji Muto never does the moonsault. Is just doesn't, you know, the mental barrier just keeps him from pulling it out. His knees hurt too much. Relying on the Shining Wizard maybe just a couple too many times. Eventually, Naito gets him. Uh, and such an emotional moment. Such a legend Keiji Muto is. Shout out to the Shinsuke match he had, New Year's for Noah. And then afterwards, Keiji Muto calls out his former rival Masahiro Chono, who had been retired for he's been retired for a long time, to have one last match where they playfully grapple a little bit, and eventually Chono gets him in the SDF. And one last time, Keiji Muto taps out and finally gives Chono that big win over Muto. Was so incredibly emotional, and it is what I love about pro wrestling, all wrapped up in one. It had Tanahashi crying. I think it had everybody crying. Had me crying. Incredible stuff. Number 13, the best Noah match of the year. Also the best AJPW match of the year. Katsuhiko Nakajima versus Kento Miyahara. Student versus master. This is, when you think of that 90s, 2000s Kings Road style of All Japan and Noah, this is the perfect modernization of that, where obviously it's all the strikes, where Nakajima just kills Kento with all these strikes, but also tells such a great story of student versus master. 40 minutes of just excellence of modernizing that classic style that we all love. And yeah, it's incredible. Number 12, FTR versus Bullet Club Gold. AEW Collision, best 2 out of 3 falls match. The match they had that was just regular was also fantastic, but this just took it the extra mile. This is the perfect, Southern, old school style tag match. We're talking about 90s, All Japan style. This is classic, NWA, Mid South, you know, Freebirds versus Rock and Roll Express or whatever. This is the modern version of that. FTR solidifies themselves as once again the greatest tag team in the world. Jay White proves why he was such a valuable signing for AEW. Juice Robinson is always great. Just pacing and tension and incredible. 2 out of 3 falls matches or if done right, can be some of the best matches ever. Or the 12th best match of 2023. Number 11, this was a fucking insane match. It is Santana and Ortiz, Claudio Castagnoli, and Jon Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta versus Penta, the Best Friends, Orange Cassidy, Eddie Kingston in Wembley. It is Stadium Stampede, where they just fight all over the arena. It has everything you could want. Awesome brawling. Uh, Eddie and Claudio just spend the whole match is beating the shit out of each other. Santana Ortiz and Best Friends relive their awesome feud from 2020. Moxley and Kingston, of course, are going at it. Penta does a bunch of insane spots. Oh yeah, I mean, just some of the highlights are mostly towards the end, I think. Yeah. Um, Penta does a costume change midway through. Eddie and Claudio fighting in the press boxes and in the audience. Sue, Trent's mom, making an appearance, driving the minivan, handing cookie sheets for the Best Friends to bash over Wheeler Yuta's skull. Um, Great ladder bump by, I think, Penta on like Santana or Ortiz, one of the two. Um, Moxley busting out the glass only for Orange Cassidy to hit him with a, like, wrapping his fist in glass and then punching, being the orange punch on Moxley. Oh, it's such a insane good match. The final bit being the best friends getting their revenge on Wheeler Yuta for betraying them. Incredible stuff. Love it so much. Just barely misses the top 10. But number 10, MJF versus Bryan Danielson. 60 goddamn minutes. And even more, like 65 minutes if you include overtime. And it flies by. This does not feel like an hour-long match. Perfect storytelling of MJF just not like MJF can. This proved that MJF can beat Bryan Danielson, but he does not have the cardio that Bryan Danielson has. I mean, the first 10 minutes of the match are kind of slow. A lot of just kind of feeling each other out, brawling a bit in the crowd, that kind of stuff. But once it gets going, it gets going. MJF cheating every opportunity he gets. Elbow drop off the top rope through a table. Daniels, the best part is right towards the end of the match, where both men have been fighting for like 55 minutes, and MJF is crying. He's crying from the pain, from the exhaustion, and Bryan Danielson is across the ring, and he's just laughing because of how much he loves, he loves the game. Um, yeah, overtime, MJF gets the sneaky cheap win. Best Iron Man match of all time. Still only number 10 on the list. AW hitting 20 matches on this list of only 50. Fucking hell. What an incredible match. Number 9, Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr. If you want to get someone into, like, British technical style wrestling, do not show them this match because it will ruin every other British technical wrestling because this is just the peak of the genre, you know? What's there even to say? Just every John Moxley on commentary definitely makes this match 10 times better. Just every little transition, every little hold. Um, Zack Sabre Jr. just switching, never keep the hold on for more than like 10 seconds. Always switching it up. Um, Such a perfect, because they're both technical wrestlers, obviously, but they're both slightly different in a couple key ways. Zack Sabre Jr. like bit slower, less realistic grappling almost. Definitely that uh, world of sport style, old British technical, but like kind of slowly transitioning between stuff so you can really see each and every like intricate movement. Versus Danielson, who will just go 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 go, more of the American or lucha, or more the Canadian America Mexico style of technical wrestling, where you just transition, 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 um, long submission chains. Danielson beats Zack not with a submission, so he didn't technically prove he's the best technical wrestler because he had to do with a pin. But yeah, I mean, this is a match that you should just want to like bust out a notepad and start taking notes. Yeah, incredible. Number 8, from a technical masterclass to a PWG indie style um, it's also the same reason in Kevin Owens from Mania Night 1. Uh, just like the perfect balance between that kind of mid 2000s indie style of like fast, insane move after move after move, no time to sell. When you do sell, you basically are dead. Um, I mean, Kevin Owens has like a hot tag in like the first 5 minutes of the match, where he does like 3 straight frog splashes, one of which to the outside, mixed with the WWE slow build dramatic storytelling. It's such an interesting mix, and I'm so happy that we get that here. The Usos are incredible. even if they have the slowest super kicks known to mankind. Sami Zayn kicking out of the 1D, which no one has ever done before up to that point, was perfect. Zayn hits the haluva kick. Jey Uso falls into Sami's arms and just pushes him back into the corner and hits another one for the win. Such an emotional, feel-good moment. Yeah, just incredible. I mean, you might question why the Usos even made it in my top 20 tag team list of the year if they broke up halfway through the year, but like this match single-handedly puts them. Number 7, it is MJF versus Darby Allin versus Jack Perry versus Sammy Guevara for the AEW World Championship at AEW Double or Nothing. The four-pillar match, the build was a little bit weird, but I enjoyed it at least. And these four just fucking go at it. Just insane, fast pace all around. I mean, obviously, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara are gonna throw their bodies around. Same thing for Jack Perry. MJF is a great foil, you know. A lot of times these multi-man matches devolve into two guys in the ring while other two guys were outside, and then like you basically switch partners every once in a while, just having a bunch of little singles matches that get interrupted and turned into other singles matches. This has a good balance of that, but also actually having multiple people in the ring. Like we get a combination of basically every wrestler in this, along with like the fast-paced finisher spamming that we all love. MJF, I don't know what he was on this night, but he was just like hilarious throughout this match. I mean, Sammy, Sammy goes for a kick and Max catches it, and he just screams, "You stupid motherfucker!" And right before he gets done with it, Jack Perry super kicks him anyway. Um, I think. Uh, Oh, there was this incredible moment where Jack Perry does a top rope hurricanrana on again someone does a top rope hurricanrana and like flings them into MJF, and as it happens, MJF just goes, "Oh shit!" and it's like gets hit. Um, and the best moment was when Darby Allin does his little like uh flip over stunner move that he does, and the whole time it's like happening, MJF just goes, "What the fuck?" and then gets the stunner. Darby, Jack Perry, is tempted by the dark side, has the opportunity to win by clocking Darby with the belt, decides not to, gets coffin drop. You think Darby's going to do it, and then MJF, of course, takes the low road with the belt shot, pins Darby Allin with a headlock takeover, continuing that thread of that little story. Beautiful. Oh, not to mention the part where they all just spam their dad's finishers, their mentors' finishers. MJF does a crossroads. Jack Perry does a kill switch. Darby Allin does Scorpion Death Drop. Sammy Guevara does a code breaker. Um, yeah, what a fun match that these three have. Wait, so that's 9, that's 8, that's 7. Number 6. Oh, it pains me not to have this in the top 5. Briscoe's FTR. The late, great Jay Briscoe's last match. What a goddamn way to go out. The best dog collar match of all time. And that's saying something because remember, dog collar match of MJF versus CM Punk was my number 1 match of 2022. So there are 6 matches on this list better than that match. Better than the best match of 2022. Yeah, just fucking brutal suplexes onto chairs, choking each other with the dog collars, whipping each other. Just such a special, unique match, for one of the best tag team feuds of all time. Between their first match, the best 2 out of 3 falls matches, because fucking FTR is so good at best 2 out of 3 falls matches, to this dog collar match. God, Jay Briscoe is such a, um, yeah, incredible. Very happy that I make the cutoff date December 1st, 2022 to December 1st, 2023, so I get to talk about this match in my yearly awards, which no one else gets to, so haha, suck it, Dave. Entering the top 5, we got Wrestle Kingdom, It's Omega, wait, this might be number 5. Wait, hold on. This was definitely 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, maybe. That was this was 9. Next match, Omega versus Ospreay. Holy shit, this match was so like the story going into it of Ospreay basically picking up where Omega left off in Japan. Now Omega coming back, daring to come back to New Japan to try and take that spot back. And the theme of this match was Kenny Omega trying to figure out how many different ways he could kill Will Ospreay, bashing his head into a table, triggering the hell out of him. Just a vicious, vicious attack by Omega onto Ospreay. Ospreay, of course, does get kicks in, but this match is mostly Omega in his grand return to New Japan in the Tokyo Dome. Comes out dressed up as fucking Sephiroth. Um, I don't know if there's anything I can say about this match that hasn't already been said. Almost a year old, and people are still talking about it all the time. Because, yeah, it was that damn good. Okay, so that was number 5. Okay, number 4, Tetsuya Naito versus Will Ospreay. Where do I begin with this? These two have such a insane chemistry with each other, where I swear to God, every time Naito wrestles Ospreay, it's like he regains the feelings in his knees, and he uh just gets loses 10 years on him, and returns more to that high flying style. Uh, just barely beating Ospreay in the semifinals of the G1. Yeah, I mean, what is there to say? This is my two favorite wrestlers in New Japan. Uh, well, I guess my one favorite wrestler in New Japan, and my new one of my favorite wrestlers in AEW now. I guess Ishii probably takes the number 2 spot now that Ospreay's gone, but yeah, it's incredible. Every match they have is 5 stars, and this might be my favorite one they've ever had. Given the extra stakes of Naito making it to the G1, yeah, incredible stuff. Number 3, Jon Moxley versus Hangman Page, Texas Deathmatch. This is so good. This is so good. Two men who are just trying to kill each other, genuinely. Like, all the barbed wire spots are nasty. Hangman wrapping the barbed wire around himself to do the moonsault off the top rope onto Moxley. Moxley using a brick, just like fucking him up with a brick, doing a curb stomp onto a brick. Yeah, this is brutal Southern death wrestling. And the final spot is perfect of Hangman Page literally hanging Moxley with the chain. Moxley taps out. I think the only time he's ever done that in AEW. Yeah. Why Hangman didn't instantly become world champion in every promotion in the world after this match, I have no idea. But yeah, he's the main character of All Elite Wrestling. Honestly, these two are the main characters. Number 2, Swerve Strickland versus Adam Page. Full Gear. This is their second match. Is again a Texas Death Match. The most brutal match I think I've ever watched in a mainstream wrestling company. I'm not counting CZW or those FMW or any of that. Or although honestly, at times this does come up to that part. So Hangman just instantly starts beating the hell out of Swerve, using a staple gun, which I don't usually see in wrestling. I know it's been used sometimes in death matches. I've never seen it used like actually pay attention to the match. But yeah, just he stapled Swerve so many goddamn times. Staples a piece of paper to Swerve, and just it is so brutal. It must have been like a dozen staples. Just and then eventually, once Swerve gets back in control of the match, he does it to himself and no sells it because he's that much of a monster. Even does it to Hangman a couple times, and blood is just trickling down Swerve's chest. What other great? There's the yeah, Hangman once again does the moonsault with the barbed wire because I guess it didn't hurt enough when he did to Moxley. Um, Swerve swings a barbed wire chair onto Hangman's back, but like a little piece of barbed wire gets loose and wraps around and gets stuck on him. So Swerve just rips it out. Fucking Hangman busts Swerve open. Like when Swerve's like on all fours, like recovering. Hangman comically like slides underneath him and drinks his fucking blood, spits it out Triple H style because he's the goddamn best. And oh my god, Swerve beating Hangman the same way Hangman beat Moxley earlier in the year. Uh, yeah, the 450 splash onto like covering Hangman in glass, and then doing a 450 splash onto his back, which has all the glass on, is brutal. Yeah, incredible. Swerve Strickland, he's gonna be a big time player in 2024. And the best match is Omega Osprey 2 at Forbidden Door. I like this match more than the first one because, simply put it's more of a 50-50 split with the offense. Osprey definitely is gets a lot more licks in. This is definitely Osprey getting revenge on Omega for what he did. Stormbreakers and Tiger Driver. The Tiger Driver is such a nasty spot, and all the hidden blades and the V triggers. This match is brutal and it's incredible, and that's all I have to say. There you go. Omega Osprey best match. So that's a lot of awards going to AEW. And pretty much all their awards have gone to New Japan and AEW. You know, think about best feud, Moxley Hangman. Best match, Omega Osprey. Best promotion, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Best tag team, FTR. Best event, All In. And then Athena winning Women's Wrestler of the Year for ROH. But who will end up on the top of the Pro Wrestling Top 50 Male Wrestlers of the Year for the Real Good Rasslin Awards? Find out next time. That's it for part 2, baby. Bye.